Village of Buchanan Mayor, and today we are here to honor our Vietnam War veterans, and we have a huge crowd here. I am so happy to see so many people here to honor their service and sacrifice. Joining us today to honor our veterans is American Legion Post 505 from Croton, Commander Bill Tuttle. We also have the Cortland Hudson Valley Veterans Committee. We have the American Legion Post, William J. Boyle, 1030. We have Bob Bodie, First Vice Commander from Post 274 in Peekskill. And we have Jean Lang, the VFW Junior Vice Commander from Post 199. So you can see this is our local community all working together. And I also thought it was very important that our veterans lead this. I didn't want to do a lot of political speeches, but it was important that our veterans all work together to do this program today. So what I'd like to ask now is we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like our Vietnam veterans to please lead that. So if we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can we shut the phones off, please?
We could. Okay, whenever you guys are ready to start.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. And now we are going to have the national anthem led by Dorothy Ferguson, our very own Dorothy Ferguson from the Village of Buchanan, accompanied by Dom Simons. Thank you. Dorothy, come on. Thank you. Oh, say, can you see what the dawn's early light? What so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we marched, as the gallantly streaming, and the bodies victory, the mercy it proved through the night. The clock was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled hallelujah ring? Oh, the wild land of the free and the home of the brave. Beautiful. That was just beautiful. And it just warms my heart to see everybody sang with Dorothy, and I think we made enough noise to let the village know we're here.
Just take our hats off in a minute of silence for all our deceased veterans. And
Oh yeah, I have that in the program.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. And now we are going to have a prayer, and it's going to be Veteran Chaplain Daniel McGuire, Post 505.
Uncover.
I'm just going to talk a minute, gentlemen. First, I'm having a little trouble with my eyes, so please bear with me. This moment is sacred with the utmost visible presence of the ones who have gone before us. We come to honor in memory those who offered their lives in the service of this country and their country. They are now enrolled in the Great Spirit Army, whose footfields have no sound. But in our memory, their souls go marching on. Proudly we remember their service in time of war. Because of them, our lives are free. Because of them, our nation lives. And because of them, the world is blessed. May the ceremonies of today deepen our reverence for our dead. Let us pray. Please uncover them. Almighty God, giver of all victories, We thank Thee for the opportunities which abide in our land, for the guidance in our hours of peril, and Thy tender love in times of need. Help us to remember with reverence the valor and devotion of our departed comrades, our soldiers, men and women in service who are now watching us now and are always there to protect us. Give us the power to see and the will to do the right. Grant that the American Legion may preserve the high ideals for which our comrades died. May God bless America.
Amen. Thank you, Chaplain. Governor.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain.
Also, I want to mention who is joining us today from the town of Cortland. Supervisor Becker is here. Village of Croton, we have Len Simon, Ann Galelli, and Nora Nicholson. Are there any other elected officials here that I did not mention? Okay.
Come on, Mayor, put your foot down with these phones.
Okay, could everyone put your phones off? Okay, there's somebody else. Oh, it's you. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
$10 fine.
We'll make some money for the village, right? Oh, that's okay. That's fine. So now I'd like to ask up Robert Ferguson, and he's going to do the origin of the National Vietnam War Day. Thanks, Bob.
We're here today to honor the veterans of the Vietnam War. It's especially important that we do this since they were not honored at the end of the Vietnam War. Now I'd like to give you a little background about how this day came about. Today, March 29th, 2023, is the 6th anniversary of National Vietnam War Veterans Day. As Americans unite to thank and honor Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice, the Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017 was signed into law by the 45th President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump, designating every March 29th as National Vietnam Veterans Day. March 29th is a fitting choice for the day honoring Vietnam veterans. On that date, in 1973, the United States Military Assistance Command Vietnam was discontinued. And it was also that day the last U.S. combat troops departed from Vietnam. In addition, on or about that same day, Hanoi released the last known acknowledged prisoner of war. The United States of America Vietnam War Remembrance honors all veterans who served on active duty in the United States Armed Forces at any time from November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of location. November 1st, 1955 was selected to coincide with the official designation of Military Assistance Advisory Group Vietnam. May 15, 1975 marks the end of the battle that occurred when the SS Mayaguez was seized. The Department of Veterans Affairs estimates that today there are at least 6 million United States Vietnam veterans living in America and abroad. Also, with 9 million families of those who served during the time frame. We made no distinction between veterans who served in country or in theater, or who was stationed elsewhere during the Vietnam War, period. All were called to service and none could self-determine where they would be stationed. The nation commemoration was authorized by Congress, establishing under the Secretary of Defense and launched by the President to take and honor our national Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. By presidential proclamation, the United States of America Vietnam War commemoration will continue through Veterans Day, November 11th, 2025.
And as Bob had said, in the Act of 2017, established March 29th in perpetuity as for our Vietnam veterans for their unsung patriotism. So the Vietnam War Veterans Day joined the 6 other annual military-centric national holidays codified into law, among them Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Veterans Day. So this is a big thing for our Vietnam veterans, because we all remember, I think you were all around in the 70s, I was in high school, but we remember the 70s and when our veterans came home and how they were not treated as they should have been. So, but like our country's history, you know, we see over the years, you know, we've made mistakes, we correct those mistakes, we come better as a country, and we get better and better. And as long as we realize what our mistakes are and work towards a better country and work towards honoring people that should be honored. So, so the Commander-in-Chief issued a presidential proclamation to ensure the sacrifices of the 9 million heroes. That's, you know, I don't think people realize how many people were involved who served during this difficult chapter of our country's history are remembered for generations to come. We vow never to never again confuse personal disapproval of war with prejudice against those who honorably wear the uniform of our armed forces. With conviction, our nation pledges our enduring respect, our continuing care, and our everlasting commitment to all Vietnam veterans. So Bob went over why March 29th. It was the day that our U.S. military command was disestablished. In addition, March 29, 1973 was the day the last combat troops departed Vietnam. Finally, March 29, 1973 was the day Hanoi released the last of its acknowledged prisoners of war. March 29th is a fitting choice for our National Vietnam War Veterans Day. And the 9 million that served, and as Bob had said, there is no distinction between veterans who served in country, in theater, or who are stationed elsewhere. They are considered Vietnam War veterans that served elsewhere. All were called to serve, none could self-determine where they were stationed, and all were seen in the same way by a country that could not separate the war from the warrior. Each person who served during this period earned and rightly deserves our profound thanks. So I don't think a lot of people realize, you know, we're not all in tune to history, but it really started November 1st of 1955. And so that was when a military assistance advisory group went to Vietnam. While May 15, 1975 marks the end of the battle, precipitated by the seizure of SS Maiguez. And the names of our service members lost in that battle are listed on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. So any of you have had the opportunity to see the Vietnam Memorial, you leave there speechless. It's just unbelievable. So we gather today to honor those from our community who, in President Abraham Lincoln's words, gave their last full measure of devotion. Those of us to whom they are family to us and are counted among the 58,276 men and women, their average age was 22 years and 9 months. And those names are engraved on the wall in Washington, D.C. So right now, I'd ask everyone to please stand for a moment of silence
Uncovered.
to remember their collective sacrifice. Thank you, everyone.
Covered.
And do we have anyone here, families of veterans who are no longer with us, but family members that are here? Okay. So we'd like to thank all of our veterans, our Vietnam veterans, that are living and here today in our community, and thank them for their sacrifices they made that enabled their loved ones to serve the families also. Because remember, the families had to be supportive of these people that were serving at the time. Okay, you can be seated. Thank you. So finally, we gather today to humbly thank and honor the Vietnam veterans living in this community. I ask everyone who served on active duty at any time from November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of location, to please stand so we might recognize your service and sacrifice and acknowledge you in the way you richly deserve. Thank you to our Vietnam veterans. Thank you. There are over 1,500 that are still considered missing in action, and the families await word of their fate as we continue the diligent work to fulfill the promise and bring them home. Or that more than 350,000 American warriors carry both seen and unseen scars from this war. So for those that just stood, you really uniquely comprehend and understand what this day truly represents. After all, you served and sacrificed, yet received no thank yous, no cheers, no parades. Although profoundly impacted by their experience, those who were able to quietly slip back into the lives they had left, as if they had never been gone. So I would like to also say each and every one of you, our Vietnam veterans, and your families, understand the prominent place you now occupy in the conscience of our nation and the high measure of esteem in which you are held by friends and neighbors. We will also be doing some more. I'm going to ask Dr. Richard Becker to come up, but we will also be giving out the Vietnam commemorative pin. That's part of our ceremony. So I would like to ask Supervisor Becker to come up now. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Knickerbocker, and thank you to all who served 50 years plus ago. Trustee Simon and I were just talking that if you go back 50 years and the average person in the Army was 18 or 19, the average person, the veteran from that war, is now at least 68, 69 years old. But I'm sitting here and I'm a little troubled. I'm going to talk a little differently than I had planned because as we all age, I don't see the younger generation participating in all things that they should. This is kind of the me generation. It's the modern generation. It's instant gratification. It's instant communication. It's all about what I'm doing, what I want to do, what I can do, what I'm owed, and not so much as being part of a bigger society with larger responsibilities. Everyone has the right to a good education, to become the most that they can, to contribute the most they can to society. But that comes with an obligation. You're educated in this country, because others paid their taxes so that you can have that education. You went on to higher education because you either got a scholarship or someone put the money up, likely your parents contributed. You owe something back. So I wonder when I stand here 20 years from now on the 70th anniversary, how many will be honoring this event? And that breaks my heart. Right? It just breaks my heart. And I think the only answer is that we're letting our kids off too easy, our young adults. Everyone should serve. I'm not saying military, but everyone should do a year of active service to their country. You can teach, you can build roads, you can help clean up the mess of our environment, but you have to learn to work with others. You have to learn to rough it a little bit. You have to be part of a band of brothers, right? You have to you can say, we went through this, we did this. You have to be able to look at something that you did and say, we accomplished this together. And if you do that, you will vote in elections, you will come out and support veterans, you'll make our country better. Breaks my heart that everyone is thinking about themselves and where they can end up and how much money they can make and what they can buy. They should be thinking there saying, how much can I give back? How much can I serve this country? How much can I help others? And if we do that, we will have more people, maybe not military veterans, but American veterans, those who've served our country and did some good. So I thank you guys. I know I'm preaching to the choir. You've all done your service and more. And I'm honored to be here to recognize what you've done. And I want to try to make sure that future generations do their part, because I think that's really the soul of America. You have to be part of something bigger. You have to contribute. Again, you have to vote, and you have to do your service. So all of us should hope that one day happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Supervisor. Very nice, but I will tell you, I will not be here 20 years from now.
Where are you going?
I'll still be living in Buchanan, but I will not be mayor.
10 elections.
Oh, 10 elections, yeah, no. It's been rough since 2017 here. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to do that after. And now I'd like to introduce Len Simon, and also with Len today is Ann Galelli and Nora. I'm sorry, Nora. Norma Nicholson from the village of Croton. So Len, you would like to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. And can I just see a show of hands of everyone who's here from Croton?
How about standing up?
Wonderful.
fellas?
Okay.
Oh,
Very good.
Some of us grew up there.
Thank you. Good.
Stand up, the guys from Croton and our people. Everybody.
And thank you, Todd. Appreciate it for all your work. Where's Tex?
Tex is right hiding back here.
Okay. Oh, there's Tex. Tex and I are on the circuit together. This is our third day in a row working together. Tex was helping us at our Board of Trustees meeting on Monday night, and then last night was the Fire Council. Tex is one of our leaders on all things related to fire, and then today. So one of the things I'm trying to figure out is what do we do in the rest of the week, Tex, after this? So yeah, and I just wanted to say hello to my friend Bohan Balaban sitting in the front row here with Mrs. Balaban. Bo. In addition to Bo being a great friend, it was at this event a year ago in Croton where I heard him sing, heard his story of Ukraine. That inspired us in Croton to have a fundraiser for Ukrainian help and relief that was sponsored by a Rotary, which ended up being very successful. And Bo was a big part of that, so I want to thank you for that, Bo, very much. And of course, I want to completely, as we say in Washington, where I used to live, I want to completely associate myself with the remarks of Supervisor Becker on what we need to do for the next generation. We're here to celebrate and remember the Vietnam generation. With your permission, I'd just like to say a word about my dad, the greatest generation, the World War II generation, and I'm hoping that with your permission, I could send along your good wishes to him. He will be 100 years old in June. June 21st. Army Air Corps Corporal Robert Simon went in age of 19, came out age of 23, lived a pretty good life, and he's now slipping, as you might imagine, into the last stages of his journey. But on my birthday, when he was still communicating very I think very effectively, we got the message pretty well. He was able to look at me on my birthday when he was already 99 and said, "I never thought I'd have a son so old." So he kept his humor longer than 99 years, and so we'll see what happens in the future. I did want to say just a couple of things. I celebrate everyone here from the Vietnam generation. I am of that generation, but I'm a representative of those who did not serve. I was 18 in 1970, went to college, got my student deferment. By the time I graduated in 1974, the draft was over. That has haunted me really my whole life. I revere the service that you provided. I wish that I had had it in me as a young man at the time to do the same. What I've tried to do is my own public service, for in the last 50 years to help make up for that. I can never fully make up for that because I know what's involved in your service. But I just wanted to let you know that those of us that stayed behind, that didn't have to bear what you bear, at least some of us remember that and think of that, and thank you for doing that. I'd like to very specifically, mention along those lines, as I mentioned there. I always think of part of my own issue with this is I always think of I didn't go, so clearly we were in the draft lottery system, as you all remember in those days. Because I didn't go, somebody else went in my place. I grew up in Yonkers, so not specifically Croton in terms of the people that made sacrifices, but I don't know how many of you have seen this document, and if you haven't seen it and you're interested in it, let me know and I'll get you the link for it, and you can kind of look at it on your laptops. Remembering Our Croton Veterans, written a number of years ago by Aaron Livingston. And it tells the story of all of our wonderful Croton veterans that have sacrificed their lives in all their wars. We lost two Croton residents in the Vietnam War. Daniel Birch, Navy third-class petty officer, 3 years in Vietnam, which I understand from my reading and understanding of history was a very long time. Most people went in for 1 year or 2 years, first-class petty officer Birch served 3 years, which is amazing. He was killed March 4th, 1966, right after his 20th birthday. No details on what happened to him, what the battle was. His body was sent home. The service was held at Holy Name of Mary. As is our tradition in Croton, we name our streets after our lost veterans. So Birch Court on Upper North Highland in Croton is named after Daniel P. Birch. And so when you have an opportunity to go by there, you can think of him a little bit. Carl Hickson was the other Croton resident, Marine Corporal, known to his high school friends in Croton as Happy Jack. Killed in action, January 1968. I tried to see if that was the Tet Offensive. It was actually about 3 weeks before the Tet Offensive. He's buried with us in Bethel Cemetery. Hickson Road, right off of Hessian Hills Road, off of Mount Airy, is named after Carl. So today we think of him. One of the things I think about, I'm just going to grab a little bit of this here. One of the things I think about is that while you who served us so well in Vietnam, you were not served so well by our political leadership and even our military leadership. And one of the things I wanted to recommend for everyone, if they get a chance, to look at. And also you can contact me if you don't want to write this down now, but just go to lbjtapes.org. The word LBJ, like Lyndon Baines Johnson, then the word tapes, and .org. President Nixon had to leave office because he taped some things there. President Johnson taped almost everything. 2,000 hours of tape recordings from his office or his bed, either his office, Oval Office, his bedroom in the White House, or wherever he was in the LBJ Ranch. When you listen to these tapes, and you can go to his Vietnam tapes, Vietnam Conversations very quickly, you hear right away the doubts that he had about the war, how it was not winnable, but we couldn't figure out a way to get out. I feel terrible when I hear these things about the lack of leadership that you guys had to pay the price for in the field, and when it goes to the political leadership, it's also the military leadership. And I just finished trying to get ready for today. I just read an amazing book on Vietnam called "They Marched into Sunlight," which is really the story of a very awful ambush that occurred in one of the jungles in Vietnam in October '67. It was because of bad leadership in the field at the highest level, from General Westmoreland on down. So I feel that you guys bore the brunt, your bravery, your dedication, and you were not served as well as you should be. And I think those are lessons that we could all learn from. So I just wanted to kind of put those thoughts out there. Have us all have a chance to think about Daniel Birch and Carl Dixon. I'd also like to mention a guy I had the opportunity, the honor, to meet him once. A great New Yorker who served 2 tours in Vietnam, Colin Powell, who is as New York through and through. We think of him as this wonderful guy, and he was. That's up on a pedestal somewhere as a great man, and he was. But he was a Bronx kid, which means that he could have been a Croton kid. And he didn't go to Harvard or Yale or Princeton. He went to the City College of New York. And the only reason he went to the City College of New York is because ROTC paid for it. And he did 2 tours in Vietnam, got wounded in both of them. One was an accident in the field. Another one was something related to a helicopter accident. So, but he went on to greatness in his life. I think all of you did the same. So, I'm here, to say thank you, to salute you, and to say I look forward to coming back not only every year, but every opportunity, any place that tells me to be. When it comes to veterans, I'll be there. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Len Simon from the Village of Croton. And now is information on the Vietnam veteran lapel pin, and I'd like to ask up Tex Stinkler from Post 505.
Thank you. Okay, I'm here to go and talk about the symbolism for the Vietnam veteran lapel pin that we'll be handing out today to those that don't have them. Okay, the pin was set as a commemoration and was designed as a lasting memento to the nation, for the nation's thanks. As was stated earlier, to be eligible is to present it to living U.S. veterans who served on active duty in the armed forces at any time during the period of November 1st, 55 to May 15th of 75, regardless of location. Everyone in this category is eligible to receive one lapel pin. Now I'm talking about the symbolism of the lapel pin. The eagle represents courage, honor, and dedicated service to our nation. As one of the most recognizable and notable American symbols, it is emblazoned on the numerous military insignia. The blue circle. The color blue matches the canton of the American flag and signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The laurel wreath is a time-honored symbol representing honor and victory. The stripes. The stripes behind the eagle represent the American flag. The stars. The 6 stars represent the 6 allies who served, sacrificed, and fought alongside one another. The Commonwealth of Australia, the Kingdom of Thailand, New Zealand, the Republic of Korea, and the Republic of the Philippines. There's a message on the back. A grateful nation thanks and honors you. It is embossed on the back, closest to the heart of the wearer. The official name of the commemoration is included to remind each veteran that this is a national initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Tex. So now, Croton's very own Post 505 Commander William Tuttle. Introduction of Vietnam veterans. Thank you.
Okay, before I get going, there's 3 things I'm going to say before I start. First, I want every young lady here to stand up who is a spouse of a veteran. Stand up, because you're the ones that got us through when we came home, and you keep us going. So thank you. Being that it's Women's Month. Thank you very much. And next, this gentleman will stand up right there, Purple Heart, and tell them what today means to you. Okay. What? That's not my fault, it's the mayor's.
I'll take credit.
I don't yell as
Okay, my name is Gene Lang. March 29th, 11:30 p.m., 1969. I got on the Freedom Bird, came back to the United States, came back to the world. That was March 29th. To this day, I will never forget. I landed in Seattle, Washington, and I got my discharge from the service March 30th, 1969. I spent a year in Vietnam. I am a Vietnam combat vet. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody with up party overs. And the last thing, I guess you guys all remember us that were in country, the lovely biscuit dollies that came out to the fire bases and talked to us, wrote letters, made us feel good. There were 600 of them. 3 were killed, if you go back and look. So let's not forget the biscuit dollies. They were from World War II to Korea to us, and we loved them. All right, now we got to do the hard work. First, I want to thank Mayor Knickerbocker for the great job she did of the. She got this all arranged. She did a great job. And I know there's a friction here because we have the ice cream man and you are fighting. There's a lawsuit going.
It's a long story.
Okay, but now it's a pleasure to hand out these pins with the help of our only young lady we have in our Legion, who is our judge advocate, Janet Myers. And our adjutant, Joe Martinelli, who without Joe, we would be nowhere. But he keeps this place going.
Whoa, whoa.
Throw him out. Throw him out. I don't want to. Okay, all you veterans who do not have one, please come up and get your pin. And if you want to get pinned, you get pinned by a beautiful young lady. And if it goes through your heart, don't cry.
No, we're just going to hand them out.
No, because you got to say it on behalf of a grateful nation. I'm supposed to shake their hands.
Okay.
So that's why they're supposed to come up here.
All right.
Well, put your hands up if you ain't got one. Up here.
You know what? Do you want to bring them up?
Nation, we thank you very kindly.
Take that.
The same one I got, right?
That's right. On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service. $1. Robert Ferrito.
Congratulations.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service.
I didn't say hello to you before, sorry.
Next,
Bill Olson.
Phil Olson.
Bill.
Oh, Bill, you're just like me, too good, Bill.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll take your time.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Oh, this young man,
Young. Wilfredo Perez.
Alfredo Perez.
Congratulations.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you.
Thank you.
Yes?
Ken Russell.
Ken Russell? Ken Russell. On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
This, hey Karen, could you control this man?
Ed Grexer.
Rexa. See if I can't pronounce it. Rexa.
There you go.
Here we go.
And thank you.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service. Next. No, no pushing.
Might fall down. Jeff Canning, J-E-F-F.
Jeff Canning.
Canning, C-A-N-N-I-N.
Jeff Canning.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of our grateful, don't go nowhere. On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And I was only a general.
How you doing? Bill O'Mara.
Bill O'Mara.
How are you?
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Door gunner, Vietnam.
Walter Rosensky.
Walter Rosenti.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you.
Appreciate it.
And that's for you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dick Nelson.
Dick Nelson.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of our grateful nation, thank you for your service. Yes, sir.
Del Lefevre.
Del Lefevre.
Congratulations.
On behalf of
Thank
our grateful
you.
nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
No, sir, only like you, Sergeant.
Max McCarchuck.
Max McCouchuk.
Thank you.
Hey, on behalf of the grateful nation, thank you.
Thank you for yours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We ain't making no money here. Yes, sir. Paul Rizzo. Paul Rizzo.
Congratulations.
He'll pay for us too.
Thank you. for-
On behalf of the grateful nation, we thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stephen Robert Thornton,
How do you like that? Stephen Robert Thornton,
U.S. Navy.
U.S. Navy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Here, get your,
Steve,
Thank you. God
Thank
bless.
on
you.
behalf of the grateful nation,
Thank you.
we thank you for your
You're very
service.
welcome. Thank you.
Hot Dog Eugene, Purple Heart survivor.
Congratulations. Thank you.
On a grateful nation, we thank you for your service. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nemzel. Bill Nemzel.
Bill Manzel.
That's close enough.
Congratulations.
There you go.
On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you.
Anthony Sawaski.
Here's a good one. Anthony Sawaski.
Congratulations, Anthony.
On behalf of Grateful Nation, thank you for your service.
I don't know, but he did all right.
Phil,
Phil,
whatever.
we don't want him anyway.
Captain Fremont,
Captain Fremont,
U.S. Army.
U.S. Army, that's it. Hey, Captain. He's buying ice cream. He got a lot of money.
Okay, thank you.
On behalf of our grateful,
Thanks for giving me all that money.
hey, on behalf of our grateful nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right, here's our Purple Heart man,
Gene Lang.
Gene Wang.
Gene, congratulations.
On behalf of Grateful Nation, we thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
And here's our another Purple Heart.
Lieutenant Colonel Neil Gross.
Oh, jeez. Hello, Colonel.
Some officers are good.
I was a general, so we're close.
I don't even talk to generals.
On behalf of the nation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, to all you veterans, God bless you all, even Bodie. Now we'll turn it back over to Mayor Knickerbocker and give her a round of applause because she did one hell of a job. And her staff. Her staff back there, that's robbing her blind, but that's okay.
They're good, they're good.
That's not what you told me.
See how he gets me in trouble all the time? Just a troublemaker there, Mr. Tuttle. As everyone can see, we have the POWMIA table that is set up today. And I'd like to ask Jean Lang and Neil Gross to come up to go over the items that are on there.
This is our flag in the corner of this room. That's merely a symbol, a very important symbol, especially for us, okay, our brothers have passed away and died in combat protecting and defending that flag. Symbolism is very important. And this table, okay, not my invention, I wish I had invented it, okay, it has a lot of symbolism and a lot of meaning I hope to share with you. Let me put on glasses. I'm having cataract surgery, so I gotta wear glasses. That's terrible. This is a place of honor. That's why it's different. In setting this table, we acknowledge those missing from our celebrations. They're not here today, and we remember them. The table's small. It's a little large, okay, but the table's small and set for one, symbolizing the vulnerability of a lone prisoner against his captors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing purity of intention in responding to our nation's call to arms. The chair, it's back here somewhere, is empty, for they are not here. We are here today thanks to them. The wine glass is inverted. They can't toast with us today. The slices of lemon, reminding us of their bitter suffering. The grains of salt, representing the countless tears of the families. The single red rose, reminding us of the loved ones who keep the faith, awaiting their return. Someone mentioned the trouble and tears of all of our families. My father and mother cried every night while I was away. The burning candle and the yellow ribbon, symbolizing everlasting hope of a reunion with the missing. All who have served alongside them, we who have donned the same proud uniform, being sworn to the same faith and allegiance, we will never forget their sacrifice until the day that they return home or find eternal peace. We will remember. Thank you.
Let there be peace closing prayer, Chaplain Daniel McGuire from Post 505, please. If you could lead us in that.
Uncovered, gentlemen, please. Okay. Run away from you, huh? Okay. May the strength of God sustain us. May the power of God preserve us. May the hand of God protect us. May the way of God direct us. And may the love of God go with us. Amen.
Amen. Cover. Nice job, Chaplain.
Thank you.
I want to say it was a great honor for me to have this here in the village of Buchanan today. I know I've mentioned before, my family, military, World War II, Korean. I had an aunt, Aunt Betty, who was a chopper nurse in Vietnam, so she was on the medevac. I'll tell you, true grit, tough as nails, that woman. But, you know, we needed, so it was men, women from our country that came together that, you know, supported our servicemen and servicewomen. And like I had mentioned before, it was a very difficult time in our history. But I'm glad to see 50 years later that our Vietnam veterans are being recognized and honored. It's took some time, but like I said, history, things change, and we get better. We get better and better. And also I want to thank the Vietnam veterans, because even though they were difficult times, you could have turned on our country from anger, but you didn't. You didn't, because you're true patriots. And you understood it wasn't most of the American people. So most of us really were thankful for you. You know, the rhetoric that goes on, but no, people like me, people like my family, your families, we all respected you, and we were not happy with what was going on. So for me to see 50 years later that you guys are being recognized, it warms my heart. And today's ceremony, I can't tell you how beautiful it was, and how beautiful it was for the different communities, you know, whether it's Yorktown, Croton, Cortland, Peekskill, for us all to come together. And I think that's what made it's such a large group here. And I do want to say something to Supervisor Becker. We do have a young'un here. Frankie, we have 4-year-old Buchanan resident Frankie. Hey Frankie, come up to the podium. Frankie and her mom are here today. This is our future of our country here. Hi Frankie, come on up. I want everyone to say hello to Frankie. Hi. Don't be shy. These are all really nice people. So like I said, this is Frankie, 4 years old, from the village of Buchanan with her mom. And this is our future. So, hey Frankie.
Thank you everyone. Thank you guys for your service. We appreciate you very much.
So, the Vietnam veterans motto, never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. And how true is that? How true is that? So I respect all of you. I respect the other veterans, how you stood up for the Vietnam veterans, and, you know, we all stuck together. And that's important, because that's what this country is. It might have taken a long time, okay? But I would like to say, our community would like to say, and everyone here today would like to say, welcome home.
Welcome home, brothers and sisters.
And thank you all for coming. We are going to have someone sing God Bless America, Bowden Baldwin. Bo. And God bless all of our veterans, and God bless the United States of America.
In Croton
and I would like to sing it also now. I was born in Ukraine, but I came to America as a little boy, and I served in the army in Korean War, during the Korean War. And ever since, I've been very happy to sing God Bless America, because I am here now, a free man. And where is my accompanist?
Don't hit her in the head, please. Charlie, you're gonna get fined.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
I would just like to also thank Dorothy Ferguson, accompanied by Don Simons, our chaplain, Dan McGuire, inspirational, beautiful, Bob Ferguson, Tex Dinkler, and our friend Bill Tuttle here, Commander, and also Joe Martinelli and Janet Mayer for handing out the pins, Supervisor and Don for also Len Simon, sorry, and all of you, and so now we are going to have lunch. So thank you all so much.